Another challenge occurred during the Beckersdal focus group, where survivors had been explained that they could not take part if they so chose. To make them more comfortable, after the initial instructions were given in English, I told them they could tell their story in whichever language they felt most comfortable. The participants passed around the mini cassette recorder, being 2005, each telling their story of what happened to them during apartheid. With all of the participants speaking in Xhosa, Ndebele, Tswana, Zulu, and other languages, one can imagine my surprise when, after the sixth participant gave her story in one of the non-English languages, she suddenly proceeded to burst into sobs. I read later in the transcript it was because her home had been burned down twice, leaving her with nothing both times. All I could do was sit next to her, put one hand on her hands and another on her shoulder, and just paused with her, empathizing, without words, with her for a few minutes until she calmed herself down. Asking her if she wanted to leave the room, she said no and chose to remain with us while everybody told their stories. Later, after the group, I approached her and thanked her for sharing her story, and she thanked me as well for giving her the chance to talk about it within the context of the group of people she knew from her community who had been through the same thing. I don't know if posting these pictures here where this book is on the internet is useful. I mean, I documented these photographs 10 years ago. I don't know how many researchers who go to the developing world in a post-conflict situation, for example, are willing or take time to bother to send photos and transcripts of interviewees. Once a project is done, usually they publish it and they don't care anymore. But I feel that doing so is to further acknowledge the participants' humanity. These people were people that went through something incredibly painful and shared with me those stories and relived them for the sake of, just so I could get a dissertation. I asked them if I could use their actual names in the course of my study. They wanted people in the United States to know about apartheid, to know about townships like Beckersdal, Katlehong, Thokoza, Vosloorus, and others, and the thousands others like them, and to remember them, and to remember that this had happened. The South African experience with reconciliation holds many lessons for other countries going through similar transitions. Even though South Africans have been reconciling apartheid-era abuses since liberation in 1994, reconciliation needs of individuals must not be overlooked within South Africa's larger quest for national healing. Reconciliation can happen instantaneously, but healing sometimes takes a lifetime.